Yes, not you. Just your voice. Okay. Would you like to remind me where we were arrived last lesson? Do you remember?
The third conditional.
The third conditional, yes. What a wonderful students I have. Yeah, I got really wonderful students. Okay, third conditional we got in our intermediate. So we are always in a hurry. I don't know, this morning I didn't go to school, but so I say I got all the time to do everything very slowly, probably even too slowly. Because when I'm so busy and I have to do this and this and this and this and this, I'm always running and I can manage. But if I have some spare time, actually it's just going in a bit. You know, I say, oh, it's 10:30, I have to run. And I didn't do anything almost, I think. I didn't do anything, actually, I think I did. Okay. Let's get into the third conditional.
Senti Maila.
You know, I think that being relaxing for a while, it makes you erase all the things that you have learned before, because I'm doing almost the same thing for all levels, because it seems that there are some grammar rules that are hard to keep in mind, not depending on the level, just those rules. For example, this conditional, because it's quite difficult. Even with the advanced, I'm doing that. Yeah, so don't worry about it. Okay, third conditional. I have to share with Anna because I didn't yet. I got the mouse there and I was here.
Infatti ti vedo un po' storta.
Now I took the mouse. That's my hair that is like this. Yes, I got it. Sharing screen. Okay. Okay, Mala, could you please read all the examples?
If I know about the meeting, I wouldn't have gone.
Okay.
If James hadn't gone on that training course, we wouldn't have met his wife. You wouldn't have lost your job if you hadn't been late every day. Would you have gone to the party if you'd know Lisa was there?
Okay, so what about the meaning? Do you all understand the meaning?
Yes.
In Italian, it's like
Tell me, dear. Yes. Se io avessi. Always think about if. If is the key. When you make hypothesis. So in Italian it's quite difficult as well, but it's different because in English we divide the hypothesis if it's in the past, so something that is past, like here in the third conditional, and it cannot be changed because past is past, or if it's in the future, and about the possibility, if it's a possible future, or it's a very scary possible future. Okay, so this is the differences, but actually we cannot at all make a comparison with Italian and English because they are different in grammar, but mostly they are different in the idea of building the sentence. So the only thing they have in common that sometimes we use if. And if you realize what kind of tense is. So if you, let's try, because I can ask you, Olga, because Italian is not your mother tongue.
Yes,
so
I would like to.
Yeah, so try to translate these sentences into Italian. Those sentences here, I make it bigger.
In Italian?
In Italian, because in this way probably they help you to understand them, what we are talking about at the moment, okay?
Io avessi saputo di questo incontro, io avrei fatto.
No, io ci sarei andato.
Ci sarei andato.
In Italian it's much more complicated because ci sarei io.
Sì.
In those reflexive, we don't use it in English.
I would like to see only.
Yes,
also
so
in Russian.
I would the same.
The same because
because the grammar probably in Russian is similar to Italian in the structure. I mean,
yes.
more complicated, more
yes,
complex.
Also we use, but in my language, the English conditional more simple. Maybe we have also, but maybe construction is more simple. But okay, I will see.
But anyway, when you say it's more simple in my language, anybody say that because
yes,
it's your language.
yes, I know, but maybe construction, maybe we use because we have only two time of past.
Okay.
But we have a lot of prefisso and suffisso.
Prefix and suffix.
And this kind of part of word change the sense. It's more maybe for
foreigner is complicated. Yes, of course, because you were born with this kind of mentality.
If you change to
yeah,
of word, change the sense. Okay.
I see. So we're lucky to study English, I think, because actually there are not so many rules to know. But anyway, and the second, if James hadn't gone on that training course, he wouldn't have met his wife. This is very typical. Se James non fosse andato a quel corso di formazione, non avrebbe incontrato sua moglie. Non avrebbe, that we use with would, incontrato, have met. The only thing that is in the third conditional, we have to use have met. So the past participle, the present perfect. Because we need the would plus present perfect. But anyway, let's try, Olga, try to read Anna, because try to read the rules that are related to all the examples.
Okay. We normally use the third conditional sentences to talk about how things could have been different in the past. For example, for hypothetical imaginary situations. Compare. Yesterday I got up late and I missed my train. The real situation.
Okay.
If I hadn't got up late yesterday, I wouldn't have missed my train. The hypothetical or imaginary past situation.
Okay, so this is more or less when and why we use the third conditional, okay? And now we are getting into the use. So in which way do we form the third conditional, Anna, go on?
To make a third conditional, use if plus past perfect and would have plus past participle.
Okay, so it's just the way we are building the sentence that can appear at first complicated. Actually, it's not, because they are just two verbs together. You got if, as usual, then you got past perfect, and then you got would have plus past participle, three verbs. Actually, you don't have to consider the verb have as a verb itself, but it's a part of the past participle or past perfect. That's why you find it quite complicated. For example, would you have gone to the party if you'd known Lisa was there? So the two parts that we have here, past perfect and would, or past participle, we have in the first part of the sentence or the second. They can be interchanged. So no problem if you start with this or the other part. It's important that they are both in the same sentence. So in the same sentence, you have to have all this part of the sentence. Okay. So use plus past perfect, that is here, you if plus past, oh sorry, the mouse, the first part, and then would have plus past participle, that is the first part. Okay, let's go on with the contraction that is even.
The contraction of both had and would is
so that's why here you think it's a would and a would. You don't have to would. Would is just on a part of the sentence. The other one is you had. So without any contraction, this sentence would be, would you have gone to the party if you had known Lisa was there? Okay, so you have would just from one side of the sentence, and from the other you have the verb have, of course, at the past. Okay,
we can use might or could instead of would to make the result less certain. If she'd studied harder, she might have passed the exam.
Okay, so I wouldn't insist on it again and again. What I can suggest you is to make some more exercise, but when you are doing this exercise, please try to read aloud, because it's the only way to memorize and to keep in your mind the complete form. The more you can also, if you are a visual learner, you can write them. So what I'm going to do now is giving you some online exercise that you can check directly online, but do just try to do them by writing them and reading them aloud. Just, you know, if I know about the meeting, I would have gone. If James hadn't gone on that training course, he wouldn't have met his wife. I know that it could seem stupid to you, but actually it's helping you a lot to keep in mind what you are reading if you read aloud. Then, of course, it depends on what kind of learner you are. But for example, I know for certain that Myla needs to write them. So I suggest expressly to her to write them, these sentences, because she's a learner, she's a very visual. So when she's writing, she learns much better. So it depends, it's up to you. So I can give you a suggestion, but I wouldn't insist too much on it. Okay. Mm-hmm. The only thing we are going to do, we are going to repeat it once and then twice, 3 times, and going on. We are not leaving the structure there. We are going to take it again and again and again. Okay, until it's very clear to you, like many other structures that you have studied. Okay, so did you Yes, already.
Questo l'avevamo già fatto.
Yes, that's, I remember it. Okay, so let's leave it for the moment. Now let's have a look to the other grammar things that we have in the intermediate book before opening the new one. Quantifiers, I think, they're not a problem, whilst the relative clauses, they could be a bit, just we can make quite a fast revision. Why? Because relative clauses are those clauses that allows us to speak much more fluently. Because sometimes we say sentence and then we stop, and then another sentence and then we stop. And actually the relative clauses, they give us the way of speaking in a very fluent way. Okay, could you please try read the example, Olga?
Juliet, Juliet, the woman who works in the office with me.
Okay. Or we could use, you see, they put who or that.
Who?
Yes, this is not, you can use them both.
Why?
You can use them both even if we're speaking about a person. Okay, we can use them both. So read number one.
Okay, it's a self-help book, which, or I don't choose.
Okay.
It's only which and that. Yes.
Yes.
Teachers, you have to relax.
How to relax. Okay. So use the relative pronoun for people, pronoun who for people, which for things and animals, and where for places. But you can use that instead of who and which. Okay, so that is that word that you can use if you are not feeling sure on what you have to use. But you can use them. You cannot omit who, which, that, and where in this kind of clause. Julia's, the woman works. No, we can. We have to say, but it's the same in even in Italian. Of course, I don't know about your language. Okay. Let's go on, Myla.
It's correct that whose brother plays for Manchester United. It's a plant whose leaves change color in spring.
Okay.
Use whose to mean of who or of which.
So a kind of possession. It's not a real possession, but we indicate of who, of which. Okay, number 3, Myla, as well.
I just had text from the girl who that I met on the flight to Paris. This is the new phone which that I bought yesterday.
Here we find again, okay, who, which.
Which and that can be omitted when the verbs in the name
Close.
and the relative clause have a different subject. For example, she's the girl I met on the plane, where and whose can never be omitted. For example, not is that the woman dog barks.
Yes, it doesn't make any sense actually for us. So of course the relative clause is connected to part of the same sentence. But as you perfectly know what a sentence is, they have to be subject, verbs, and everything. If we have 2 complete sentences together, that means that we can omit the relative clause, not because of an exception, but just because we have 2 sentences. So you don't have to use it, the relative clause. Sorry, no, it's me. It's me doing it, because I'm trying to. She's always there, but it's the projector.
Eccolo.
Yes, because otherwise I don't know where to put the mouse. Okay, so this is the only case. This is And this is quite easy. I mean, you can, sorry, I think, yes, like here. We can just try to do this very, very quickly, one sentence each, but I think that is quite easy for you. The only one, so that can be interchanged with almost everything, but not for whose. Because whose is showing something different, that is a possession. Wise, that is not. Okay, so Mountain View is the area where Steve Jobs grew up. Do not consider that here, okay? Just use who, which, where, or whose. Anna, let's start number 1, then Olga and Mila.
Rob and Corinna, who have twins, often need a babysitter.
Who? Yeah, perfect.
Downing Street, where the British Prime Minister lives, is in central London.
Yes. Where?
The sandwich which you made me yesterday was delicious.
Yes.
The woman who lived here before us was a writer.
Okay, Anna.
Stieg Larsson, who books form the Millennium Trilogy, died in 2004.
2004, yes. So you say whose books? Whose, yes. Whose books?
Ah, di cui, giusto, sì.
Yes, yes, whose,
Okay.
yes. Okay, Olga?
My computer is a lot faster than the one which you bought.
Okay, because it's a kind of comparison. Mila?
Mona Lisa, which Roberta had been
Damaged.
several times, is now displayed behind bulletproof glass.
Yes, bulletproof glass.
What is bulletproof?
What is?
Proiettile.
Yes, bullet is the proiettile. Proof è a prova di.
Ah, ok.
Anche voi usate molto spesso waterproof makeup. Waterproof. Tutto ciò che a prova di, diremmo in italiano latino, diciamo, diventa con il sostantivo e seguito da proof. Ok? Bulletproof sono proprio gli come i giubbotti anche.
Invece displayed è esposto.
No, displayed è esposto. Esposto, displayed in a window. Usually if you use display, you got a window or a shelf. So something that is displayed usually is the most common verb that you use in shops. In shops, all the stuff is displayed everywhere, okay? In windows, in shelves, on tables, it depends. Ok.
Vado io?
Anna, sì.
Look, that's the woman whose dog bit me last week.
Yeah, look, that's the woman. That's the woman whose dog bit me last week. Okay, okay.
On our last holiday, we visited Stratford upon Avon, where Shakespeare was born.
Yeah, that's it.
We all went to match except Marion, who doesn't like football.
Who doesn't like football, Anna?
That man who you saw at the party was my boyfriend.
Yes, okay, Olga.
That's the part where I learned to ride a bike.
Very good, very good. Okay, so as I told you, it was very easy just to connect because you have in your mind the difference between who, which. Okay, and now you know how to use it in a relative clause. Now let's see what are the non-defining relative clause. Those that are giving a non-essential information. Okay, Myla, could you please give me the examples?
This painting, which was painted in 1860, is worth billions of pounds.
So look very careful on the commas. We have red commas and we have a sentence that is within two commas. Okay.
Last week, I visited my mom, who's nearly 19 years old.
Okay.
Barford, where my grandfather was born, in a beautiful little town. My neighbor, whose son goes to my son's school, has just remarried.
Remarried. Olga, could you please read us the information that we have, the explanation?
Not defining relative
Clauses, yes.
clauses give extra, often non-essential information in a sentence. If this clause is
Omitted.
the sentence still makes sense.
Okay, let's try to make an experiment. So let's try to omit the sentence. This painting is worth millions of pounds. That makes sense. But I give you next information within two commas and I say this painting, which was painted in 1860, it's worth millions of pounds. Let's go on with with this one.
Non-defining relative clauses must go between commas or a comma and full stop.
So not necessary with two commas because we can also finish the sentence. Last week I visited my aunt. That makes sense. Who's nearly 90 years old. Full stop. Okay. So not necessarily within two commas, but also with a comma. But anyway, it's a sentence that we could possibly cut off, and the meaning of the sentence is still on. Okay. Continue this last 2 points, Olga.
In these clauses, you can't leave out the relative pronoun who, which, etc. No,
Etc. Yes.
In these clauses, you can't use that instead of who, which, not this painting that was painted in 1860 in worse millions of
Eccoci.
pounds.
Ed eccoci qua.
E siete andati via.
Ah, ci sei?
Sì, sì, adesso sì.
E vedi anche la condivisione?
Sì, 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 sì.
Ah, ok. Abbiamo solo letto questa parte.
Ok.
Ok. Allora, no, pensavo che questo era il punto che non capivi, dico. Va bene. Ok.
Comunque non si tolgono questi who, which, anche se li metti tra
allora,
le due virgole.
Which li devi mettere sempre. Sempre. Anzi, non li puoi mai omettere perché sono quelli che ti fanno proprio capire la spiegazione aggiuntiva di cui, per cui, eccetera, la quale anche noi una spiegazione aggiuntiva la dobbiamo introdurre in qualche modo. Ma la cosa che è importante che vi ricordate è che quando diamo queste spiegazioni aggiuntive non possiamo sostituire queste relative clauses con that, così come facciamo nelle frasi di senso compiuto regolare. Okay, so we have to use just the relative clause, the proper relative clause, who, which, whose, etc., and never use that in this case. Okay, this is just a grammar rule. So now we are looking at the sentences that we had in A, no, this one, we are doing here. We add comma here when necessary in these sentences, okay? Caroline, comma, who lives next door to me, comma, is beautiful. Okay, let's try to do it. Myla.
This is the place, comma, where John crashed the car.
Yeah. Okay. No, actually, here you don't need it. No. Why? This is the place where Jonah crashed his car.
Okay.
That's it. Finished. You don't need any comma here. Because this is the place. It's not finished. Okay. Okay. Olga, try number 2.
The castle, comma, that we visited yesterday, comma, was amazing.
Okay, so we have the castle was amazing that we
But
visited.
we use that. It's correct.
No.
It isn't correct. So the castle, comma. What do you say? Okay, this is one is without.
Yesterday, comma,
No. Oh, listen. Here is the same as number 1. The castle that we visited yesterday was amazing, because if you say the castle was amazing, what castle? It's not a complete sentence. If I say that castle was amazing, so that makes sense. But if I say the castle was amazing, I don't understand who I'm referring to. So it's not a relative clause like it isn't in number 1. This is the place where Jordan crashed his car. So that's why I can use that. Because the castle that we visited yesterday was amazing. It's just one sentence, okay?
Okay. No comma.
No comma, no comma.
Okay.
No comma. If you in an English exam, if you are when you are doing the writing exam, if you make mistakes with commas, they are considered mistakes, big mistakes usually in this case. Okay, Anna, number 3.
Allora, Beijing,
Yes.
which is one of the world's biggest cities, hosted in 2008 Olympic Games.
Okay.
No comma.
No, there is a comma here.
There is?
Yes, 2
Beijing,
commas here.
comma, which is one of the world's biggest cities, comma, hosted in 2008 Olympic Games.
Perfect. So you have Beijing hosted the 2008 Olympic Games. Yes,
okay.
That's it. Very good. Okay, number 4, Olga. Olga. Yes.
Michael Jackson, trailer, comma, which was released in 1982, comma, was one of the best-selling albums of the 80s.
It is, yes, very good. So Michael Jackson's Thriller, comma, which was released in 1982, comma, was one of the best-selling albums in the 80s. Begli anni. Nice period of my life. Okay, and now Anna? No, Myla, sorry. You know, because it's like when you are playing cards. Poor girl. Okay, good. That's good. Anna?
Sally and Joe, comma, who got married last year, comma, are expecting their first baby.
Very good, excellent. Now I'd like to no, because I got a very nice thing that I prepared. The appositive. This is also called the relative clause used like this. They are also called the appositive when you are putting some sentences inside to explain a clause. Okay, let me try to wait, because I have to share with Anna. This is a funny thing, but it's there to making you clearer. Anna, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. Because I have to, first I have to share this. I'm doing the screen sharing. Okay, and now I'm going back to a positive. Yeah. Okay, you see that?
Okay, yes.
Okay, recognize an appositive when you see one. And you read one by one, Myla Organ.
An appositive is a noun or noun phrase that renames another noun right beside it. The appositive can be short or long combination of words.
Okay, Olga.
Look at these appositive examples, all of which rename insect.
Insect. Okay, we have insect. Go.
The insect, cockroach,
yes,
is crawling across the kitchen table.
Okay. The insect, a cockroach, is crawling across.
A cockroach, what means?
What kind of animal is a cockroach? Is a very big bug that is walking. Scarafaggio.
A scarafaggio.
Yes. Usually it's the one that is quite long and round, the cockroach. La blattona. The cockroach. Okay, the insect, a cockroach, is crawling across the kitchen table. This is a presentation for advanced, but I want to show it to you to make it clear the way you can put some relative clauses. Here there's no relative clauses, but it's just appositive, the appositive. That is, a cockroach is the appositive. Yes, you are. Look what we are doing again. Go on, Olga.
The insect, a large cockroach, is crawling across the kitchen table.
Ok. Anna?
Aspetta che abbasso le faccine. The insect, a large cockroach with hairy legs, is crawling across the kitchen table. Sempre di più. Faccine, ok. The insect, a large hairy-legged cockroach that has spied my bowl of oatmeal, is crawling across the kitchen table.
Okay,
And
so you see, from spied my bowl of oatmeal, è venuta fuori da dove? My bowl, the bowl, la ciotolona.
La ciotola?
Di cereali. Oatmeal sono proprio what kind of cereal is in Italian? Oat is the l'avena.
Cornflakes.
Fiocchi d'avena.
Fiocchi d'avena.
Fiocchi d'avena.
Okay. Oatmeal. ok? Per cui vedete come tra due virgole, oltre alle relative clause che spiegano e danno, abbiamo anche quest'altra possibilità molto simile, che è chiamata in grammatica diversamente, so it's not relative clause but it's a positive. The positive actually is a continuously possibility of giving more information on the same sentence, okay? Remember the commas. And you see, here we have to put more comma because we have two big adjectives, okay? A large, hairy-legged cockroach. Here we say a large cockroach with hairy legs. Here we have transformed the nouns into an adjective. That's why I told you that this is for advanced. But just when we are going to analyze the sentence, because otherwise you understand it perfectly well. That means that your comprehension can be much higher than your level. Myla.
There are more examples. Here are.
Yes.
During the dinner conversation, Clifford, the messiest ever at the table, spread mashed potatoes like a rat.
Okay. Do you understand it? All the words?
The messiest.
The messiest. The messiest. So messy is chaos. Chaos. Big mess. When you, for example, if a mother is coming into a room and see all toys, they are all spread around, they say, "Oh, what a mess!"
Okay.
Yes. So the messiest is, of course, the superlative of messy.
Messy.
That is, yes. The messiest eater at the table, spewed, mashed potato like an erupting volcano.
Che schifo.
Hell yes. Horrible. Okay, Myla.
My 40.
No, when you have a kind of name, you can say 486.
486 computer, a modern day dinosaur, chews floppy disks as noisily as my mother does peanut brittle.
Okay. So here is full of advanced words, but it's interesting also for that. So my 486 computer, a modern day dinosaur, chews floppy disks, that is an old word, as noisily as my brother does peanut brittle. You know what are peanut brittle are? Do you know what are the peanut brittle? Is what in Italian is called the I croccanti, made with peanuts and honey pressed together and do it like a biscuit. But of course, it's very noisy. Yeah. When you here are the peanut brittle. Okay. No, because I know that otherwise peanut brittle. Yeah. Hard toffee, a type of sweet made from butter and sugar. Actually, there's no honey. Actually, it's butter and sugar that contains peanuts.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not bad actually. It's a bit sweet, but
Not bad.
it's fantastic. I think that the Italian way is much better because instead of so much butter and sugar, we put honey. So with honey, it's the fats is low fat. I mean, it's lower than this. This is very, very fatty. Okay. Olga.
Janet's bedroom desk, the biggest disaster area in the house, is a collection of overflow library books, your plates, computer components, old mail, dead hair, and empty potato chip bags.
Yes, horrible.
Mm.
Okay, go on, Olga.
Relabel Diana's 11-year-old beagle achieves holes in the living room, perfecting as if he were still a puppy.
Okay, so reliable, Diane's 11-year-old beagle chews holes in the living room carpeting as if he were still a puppy. Okay, this is typical of
Cos'era holes, rough?
hole, buco.
Book.
Chews holes means that is making hole by chewing. Mastica buchi. Ok, noi diremmo fa buchi masticando nella moquette della living room, ma in questo caso è chews holes, è proprio è un modo di dire molto tipico proprio dei puppies, no? Quando mordicchiano e rovinano le cose.
Rosicchiano.
Rosicchiano, ma neanche perché rosicchiano dei roditori. Chews holes è proprio dei puppies. Ok, Anna.
Aspetta che sposto le faccine.
Ah, yes.
Ok. Allora,
Punctuate
the appositive correctly. The important point to remember is that a non-essential appositive is always separated from the rest of the sentence with the comma.
And this is the same use that we do with the relative clause, completely the same. Not the non-essential. When something that we describe in what we speak is non-essential, even if it's a relative clause, if it's not, if it's in a positive, doesn't matter. We have to separate it with comma or commas, because comma and a full stop is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Myla?
When the appositive begins sentence, it looks like this.
Like this.
A hot-tempered tennis player, Robbie charged a fire and tried to crack the poor man's skull with a racket.
Skull with a racket.
Skull with a racket.
Okay, so we have at the beginning, but we also, so we describe, we intro the meaning of the sentence, we explain who Robbie is. A hot-tempered tennis player, Robbie charged the umpire and tried to crack the poor man's skull with a racket. Okay, you remember the word umpire that we did?
Referee.
It's like referee, l'arbitro
del tennis.
to crack the poor man's skull with a racket. Then, also, always Myla.
When the appositive interrupts the sentence, it looks like this. Robbie, a hot-tempered tennis player, charged the umpire and tried to crack the poor man's skull with a racket.
Okay, same meaning completely, but we put the appositive inside the sentence.
And when the appositive ends the sentence, it looks like this. Upset by the bad call, the crowd cheers Robbie, a hot-tempered tennis player who charged the umpire and tried to crack the poor man's skull with a racket.
Okay, so this should be quite clear. If you want, I can send you this presentation in the form of a PDF, so you can have it and read it. Okay, let me see. Oh, it's almost time, but I'd like to do some more. Question tags. Question tags are very easy. I think that you know that very well. The only thing is that before I can notice that students are using question tags quite normally, it takes really long time. So when we speak, I almost never find out that a student is using them. So let's try to use them more when we're doing a bit of conversation. So I think that now we are going to have a look to it. And next time, if you agree, next Friday, I'd like to make more conversation and speak more. Yes, I'm preparing a bit of exercise where you can talk quite a lot. I mean, I wouldn't talk at all unless you ask me. But try even to use those question tags. At the moment, just read the sentences one by one, Myla Organa, and that's it, without any explanation. Myla.
Positive verb, negative tag. It's cold today, isn't it? You're Polish, aren't you?
Anna.
They live in Ankara, don't they? The match finishes at 8 o'clock, doesn't it?
Myla.
Your sister worked in the USA, didn't she?
Olga.
We've met before, haven't we?
Anna.
You'll be okay, won't you? You'd go on holiday with me, wouldn't you?
Myla.
Negative verb, positive tag. She's here today, is she?
Okay. Olga.
You aren't hungry, are you?
Okay.
They don't smoke, do they?
Okay. Myla.
Lucy doesn't eat meat, does she?
Okay.
You didn't like the film, did you?
Mike hasn't been to Rome before, has he?
You won't tell anyone, will you?
So I wouldn't quite
Kit.
uh,
Kit. Her job.
critical job, wouldn't she?
Would she? Would she? Okay, so of course, what is very easy to see is that if the verb is positive, the tag has to be negative. And on the other way around, if the verb is negative, the tag is positive. The only thing you have to be careful is that you have to use exactly the auxiliary that you use in the first in the sentence. Okay, the auxiliary. Here you see is, are, do. They live in Ankara. Here we don't have any auxiliary, so we use the auxiliary that we should use if it were a negative or interrogative sentence. Don't they? So it's always an auxiliary. The match finishes, doesn't is referred to the match. Your sister worked, didn't, because it's worked in the past. It's like a normal interrogative sentence that we just use the auxiliary verb. That's it. We've met before, haven't we? Because the auxiliary is have. You'll be okay. Won't you? Will. Want. Positive. Negative. And so on. Can you recognize it? Even with would. She wouldn't quit her job, would she? Okay. So if it's possible for you, I don't remember oh sorry. Olga, if you got this book or not?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe.
Did I send it to you?
No.
I didn't.
You.
Oh, sorry. I am going
Digital.
on digital, yes. So you
By
can
mail,
even on the
Also,
WhatsApp the same
sure.
because it's very light.
Fine.
Okay, I send this and also next book. Both, I'm sending them. So if you can have a look to page 151 and try to use to do these two exercise A and B.
What Please repeat. the
Page 151, 151, and make exercises A and B. I'm just going to send it to you right now. Okay. Okay, girls. So next time I would like to improve the speaking part. Because of course grammar is important, but it's not the only thing that we have to know when we speak in English. Okay, Annie.
Okay. Buon weekend. Have a good
Weekend. Very nice weekend. I hope we will relax, enjoy, eat, sleep, and do whatever we need. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye.
Bye.